Larry Kudlow says Trump tells Mexico and Canada, America first. That's right. Trump is implementing his new tariffs on Mexico and Canada starting tomorrow, February 1st. Thank God we finally have a president that's willing to put the American people first. We haven't had wins like this that I can remember from a president in my lifetime. From in my lifetime, this is crazy. This is awesome to witness. Awesome to be a part of. We are living in history right now because the things that are happening right now are going to be determining America's future for the next 50 to 100 years. It is crazy, and again, it's awesome to witness. So we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna play the clip from Larry Kudlow. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button. Share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. Has a link to my Patreon. That's where I talk about things that I can't talk about here. There's also a link to my Instagram and my X account, so follow me there as well. All right, so let's get into this news. Let's just hop right into this clip here. Here we go.
Folks, Mr. Trump tells Mexico and Canada, America first, and that's the subject of the riff. If President Trump believes that Mexico and Canada are damaging America's national security by failing to sufficiently help us on the border to prevent illegal crossings and prevent the influx of fentanyl or other drugs, or not helping us defeat the Mexican cartels, then I believe he is absolutely right to use his tough tariff diplomacy by slapping 25% tariffs on both countries. And that includes...
Yeah, because think about it. How else are we going to get these countries to do the right thing? How else are we going to get them to start balancing out the trade when it comes to trade deals? How else are we going to get them to start, Mexico in particular, taking in their citizens, taking their citizens back, the illegal immigrants that are in our country? How else are we going to start fixing our economy until we get these other countries in line? And because they've been ripping us off for years, past presidents been allowing this to happen. About time we finally have someone step up and do something about it.
Includes the 10% tariff hike on China, which is supplying the fentanyl drug components that are then manufactured in Mexico and then sent across the U.S. line. China, by the way, is also subverting the USMCA, North American Free Trade Deal, by building plants in Mexico and then dumping cheap cars into the U.S. without adhering to U.S. domestic content and other rules. But today's announcement by Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt that President Trump has made up his mind and will impose these tariffs tomorrow is very clear. That's the president's conclusion. Whether he has any specific metrics in mind regarding illegal crossings or drugs or sex trafficking, all that remains to be seen. Whether he's going to engage in additional negotiations with Canada and Mexico also remains to be seen. But he has laid down the law. Tariffs are a legitimate tool to engage in national security policy as well as economic policy.
Absolutely. And we can take that money that we make from tariffs, and we can get rid of the national income tax. You know, we've been using tariffs for years to fund everything we need within government. Why can't we do it again? And this is without income tax. We know that income tax is a modern thing. Let me get back to this clip though. I digress.
If Mexico and Canada meet Mr. Trump's requirements at some point, then the tariffs could be lifted. But we don't know that. And we await a statement from the president himself, perhaps tomorrow or perhaps tonight even. By the way, Mexico's ties to China have become a major problem. Mexican imports from China have increased 50% over the last 5 years. And Chinese investment in Mexico is up by the same 50%. USMCA rules must be changed to place explicit limitations on Chinese content. Now, right now, the U.S. is running a $170 billion trade deficit with Mexico, and it's sustained across numerous product groups. Canada is a bit different. The U.S. is running a $60 to $70 billion trade gap with them, but if energy is removed, we actually have a surplus with Canada, and that surplus includes autos and manufacturing. Now, 60% of U.S. oil imports come from Canada, but Canadian oil companies provide us with a 20% discount because their heavy crude has to be refined into gasoline and diesel fuels. But as some oil experts are pointing out, a 25% tariff wipes out the 20% discount. So they fear that gasoline prices in the Midwest and the northern states could jump by perhaps 40 to 75 cents. So the oil industry is hoping for a carve-out from the 25% tariff. We'll see about that. On the tariff news announced by Ms. Leavitt, the Dow Jones fell about 330 points. Wall Street continues to believe that tariffs are inflationary. And as I've suggested before, tariffs are not.
They're not.
Sure, there might be some minor one-time product price increases, but exporters to the U.S. will bear 50% or more of the tariff increase by lowering their prices in order to sell to American consumers and businesses. That was our experience with China during Mr. Trump's first term. The only way inflation is going to pick up in any sustained fashion is if the Federal Reserve keeps the printing presses wide open. In Mr. Trump's Truth Social post on Wednesday, he criticized the Fed for failing to stop the massive Bidenflation that ruined blue-collar affordability with a 20% plus price hike over the past 4 years. For Mr. Trump's own economic program, lower tax rates, deregulation, unleashing energy production, large reductions in federal spending and the D.C. bureaucracy, all that is profoundly counter-inflationary, and it's pro-growth. That's why inflation is not the issue. And yesterday, by the by, Mr. Trump posted that he will not tolerate any replacement of the mighty U.S. dollar in international trade. In fact, he threatened 100% tariffs on the so-called BRIC countries.
Yeah, he called out the BRIC nations. That's Brazil, Russia, India, China, and I want to say South Africa, or I think South Africa are the BRIC countries. And they're basically putting together their own money system that will go against the United States petrodollar. That's what's happening here. And Trump came out and said, no, 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 no. If you BRICS try to create your own system, y'all gonna have to pay these tariffs too.
Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. So King Dollar is also counter-inflationary. Instead, Mr. Trump's tariff diplomacy is geared towards protecting America's national security and protecting America's economic security. And he insists that America comes first. And that's the riff.
Right. I'm all for it. Y'all know how I feel about that. America first. About time we got someone willing to do that. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe. And check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for the latest in news. Until next time. Peace.